A woman is not supposed to take any next penis which steps out of a Mercedes. When men will start saying no, is when women will realize that that is not what is going to work with honorable, noble men. So once again, the weight falls on our shoulders, but the way this time Prakriti makes the load fall on a man's shoulder is not that now he needs to go to war. It is that now he needs to be like a woman, that who does he allow into his space. Millions and millions of women are gonna cry bleeding tears. Women today, thanks to the way they have been programmed by the evil algorithms of the big tech companies, their self image and their self esteem is so miscalibrated on an exaggerated level that they have no idea how many mistakes they are making and how much they are going to suffer in the future because of this. Because every human being who's being nice to them, they are just trampling on them, treating them like pieces of shit and as sources of attention in order to massage their ego, thinking that I am a woman, I will forever be amazing. They are forgetting that in the now itself, they are not being amazing. Forever is a very far away part. And as soon as they start crossing a particular age, the amount of attention which they get is going to drop so drastically. Number one. Number two, because of their actions, the way cause and effect works in this universe, it is going to come back to them in such a horrendous manner that I have in my writings. I don't know if you read where I write on Telegram and I share my writings over there, including certain intuitive things which I share. I had already said before 2024 that the balance of pain between males and females is going to shift towards now more females will start suffering pain. Up until now, between men and women, it is mostly men who suffer more than women do. But that will change now from this year onwards. And it changed because now, if you want to verify that statement, you can start looking up different events, different statistics, different news, etc. And you will find that. And it is just beginning. There are going to be millions and millions of women, including from countries such as Asia, India, continents and this side of the world, where we never used to have these problems. Millions and millions of women are gonna cry bleeding tears of loneliness. Because at the time when Prakriti, Ma, creation, gifted them youth, beauty, womanhood, grace, all of these things, they abused it. And they are abusing it to the level where they are not nice people to be around. They are fake, and all they care about is flicking their hair like this and the camera, and everything is about posting it. It is not about whatever the thing is. So, what is happening? They're losing out on realness from their life in every aspect, including the nice people who are trying to become their mate, including the nice men, because they can't identify. You might be a guy who either of these two women really would, let's say, get together with because you are most attractive in that particular environment. And then, let's say, I roll up in a luxury car one day and I start talking to her randomly. I'm telling you, in most cases, they will go because they just want the opportunity to sit inside the seat and the cabin of one of these luxury cars and take a photo so that the logo is visible. This is where they've come to, man.
Yeah, yeah,
And the small town girls are at another level. In the big cities, they have already suffered since the last 10 years. They've seen this thing happen. And now there is a awakening happening even in women, because overall there is an awakening happening on this planet, and that awakening is happening from the feminine energetic principle, in my opinion, and that is supposed to wake up the feminine side of both men and women, because in the women it's gone and there is an exaggerated masculine side which needs to come back. And you will find sometimes women say that this is because men today are not masculine. Ma'am, you are not understanding. We are all suffering from this together, and you can't say that you as a woman had to be more masculine because today men are not masculine. That's not how it works. That's an excuse trying to get out of taking responsibility and accountability, which is something unfortunately women are very good at. They're very good at not taking accountability.
100%.
Okay, because, and it's okay, like I understand the design of man and woman at many levels, So a lot of these things are there for our good and for the propagation of, you know, our own species, let's say. That is why women or the feminine principle is ruthless. That is why the feminine is the negative principle. If you will start looking at positive and negative, the feminine is the negative principle. The feminine is what causes destruction. And unfortunately, today women are selfish to the point of destroying themselves completely. The problem is when any of us are not aware of what is my nature as a man and what is my nature as a woman. And then when do I use which aspect of that nature based on dharma, which means the right way, which means the way in which I'm causing the least amount of harm and causing the maximum amount of collective benefit, even if that means sometimes sacrificing my own benefit. Because it's not about the act that you do, it is about what do you feel from it. We all live based on feelings. The day you got your job, the day you passed your exam or finished them, those days will not matter as much as the actual highs and lows of life where you felt amazing or you felt horrendous. You will remember those times. Why? Because those are the times which are timeless in their experience. When you're going through shit, it is so slow that the next day doesn't come. And when you're going through good stuff, it is so fast that it goes by very quickly. Time
Yeah.
ceases to exist, and that is why time exists, to make us forget time and live for the real experiences where we are not bound by a clock. But today, unfortunately, this is what the situation and the scenario is. On one side, there has been a massive attack on our women and their femininity and their grace and their softness, which they are not realizing. And our job is not to fight with them, our job is not to scold them, our job is not to do anything. But we have one job. The feminine in us needs to rise to the level where we are able to say no to this kind of corrupted femininity. When men will start saying no, is when women will realize by themselves that the ways which they are trying in the world of today, because they have been sold those ways in order to value things like fame more than family, in order to value these kind of things more than what actually matters, they will realize that that is not what is going to work with honorable, noble men. So once again, the weight falls on our shoulders, but the way this time Prakriti makes the load fall on a man's shoulder is not that now he needs to go to war. It is that now he needs to be like a woman, that who does he allow into his space? Just like normally, if women were feminine, they wouldn't be sleeping around so easily in today's world. They wouldn't be sleeping around as easily as they are, because the feminine principle is about elimination. So, when it is about elimination, a woman is not supposed to take any next penis which steps out of a Mercedes, just because it's stepping out of a Mercedes and they get to be taken to a good club and get free drinks, that they sleep with them and take some pictures to show that, look, now this is my lifestyle. Who the are you showing to? How? Who the cares? And it's so visible that you're trying so hard to show. Now, the problem is they did not practice elimination, which is the feminine principle. A feminine woman will not say yes to men. She will say no to almost every man until she finds a worthy man, or until she knows that for her this is the best possible man, for which she doesn't need to practically go through men. She doesn't need to sleep around. She doesn't need to have multiple boyfriends. They have a very good inner sixth sense which tells all of these things to them, as well as it's very visible that as a woman what kind of man is best possible for you to get. But they have been sold these false dreams, all right, and everyone is suffering because of this, including the men. So this time it comes on us men, but via the feminine energy field. This is all my opinion, but anyone can try to break it down or try to show me what is happening collectively in terms of the energetics of this planet. If there is a better way to understand it, I'm open to understanding it. But basically, in my opinion, it is the feminine energy which wants to now rise up in men as well as in women, as well as on this whole planet. And that is why the destruction you will see with more disasters and stuff like that. But basically, she wants us to start saying no, because as men, we've never said no. And in this world of today, where all shit is being sold to everyone, if you as a man can not get greedy, can not get lustful, just because there is cheap pussy flying around everywhere in the air, you will be rewarded. And that reward will come from within, that you will have some standard for yourself, because unfortunately now the women have no standards.